The UN Security Council is currently run by a nation whose president is a war criminal. Even though it's hard to imagine, Russia will soon take over as president of the influential organization responsible for upholding world peace and security. Dmytro Kuleba, the foreign minister of Ukraine, referred to Russia taking over the council presidency on April 1 as the world's worst April Fool's joke, as its brutal invasion of Ukraine enters its second year. A body whose sole purpose is to safeguard and protect international security is being presided over by a nation that routinely violates all fundamental rules of international security, Kuleba claimed. The 15 members of the Security Council alternate holding the presidency in an alphabetical order. The 5 permanent members of the organization, including the US and Russia, are in charge. The public skepticism about Russia chairing the council while its troops are occupying parts of Ukraine, another UN member state, is well known to the diplomatic corps of the organization. Few people are aware that Russia presided over the council for the final time in February 2022, just before it invaded Ukraine. The head of the Security Council is expected to maintain objectivity. However, in its new position, Russia is able to manipulate discussions on Ukraine and use the month to portray the US and other Western nations as leveling unfounded accusations against Russia. The fact that Russian President Vladimir Putin last month became the first head of state of a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council to be issued an arrest warrant over an alleged scheme to deport Ukrainian children to Russia only serves to increase unease over Russia's new role. Moscow has denied that the deportations are forced and has defended the practice as saving them. It certainly seems grotesque. Richard Gowan, head of the International Crisis Group at the UN, said of Russia assuming the presidency, "It makes the council look bad." Supporters of Russia at UN headquarters nonetheless assert that they see historical parallels to the current situation, citing the US invasion of Iraq without the council's consent in 2003. The US is a permanent member of the Security Council. In the end, the Russian presidency is not the problem. Russian actions in Ukraine are to blame, a diplomat from the Security Council told CNN. Can Russia be expelled? Ukraine has questioned Russia's legitimacy for its permanent seat at the council over the past year, pointing out in open forums that Moscow was given the former Soviet Union's chair without a vote in the early 1990s. But is it possible to expel Russia from the UN Security Council or even the whole organization due to its actions in Ukraine? The UN Charter, which serves as the organization's guiding document, makes it difficult to remove a permanent member of the council. A Russian veto could easily maintain its representation at the horseshoe shape of the council. The country has no business serving on the UN Security Council if it blatantly violates the UN Charter by invading its smaller neighbor. There is no international legal way to change the fact that Russia is a permanent member of the Council, which is regrettable, a US mission to the UN spokesperson told CNN. The only thing that can really be done in this strict body is to challenge what Russia says there, which the US has vowed to do. The US spokesperson stated, "We continue to call out their lies and bring credible voices, data, and facts on the ground." Russia's position at the UN may come under more pressure the longer the war continues. Rhetoric, however, is the main focus of many of these meetings.